Council. Before John gives us a 20-second crazy of what's going on in Lenham, if Matt, could you just report back?
Could I ask it to the other way round? Because there's no point in me running over the same rails.
I think we've already discussed this one, so
Well, yeah, okay, fine. As I said earlier, my main brief on the Parish Council is one to develop tourism, if possible, and also to try and develop the public lavatories. So it's quite a diverse scheme. But tourism, trying to promote the village is one thing, in that with all the building, which we're all suffering from, the danger is Lenham going to actually be a village in so many years' time, which leads to a problem that both parishes have got, and that is road structure and parking, which Tom has just alluded to. Now, I know you have problems with West Street, but with the increase in building that we're getting anyway in Lenham, and also the current problems with the square, the parking is absolutely horrendous. And we're trying to, we've been on to Kent County Council, and we get what you get the standard letter. You need statistics. In other words, you need people to die before anybody's going to do anything about it. And we've had lots of correspondence from residents. It's hitting the shops a bit as well, because a lot of shops, village shops, contributed a template to the village tourism, because we were trying to promote businesses as well. Sadly, it looks as if some of them, Lister's, the butcher's, certainly gone, and there's a threat that one or two others are going as well. And the problem is, you just cannot get parked in the square. We're looking at all sorts of ways of putting a 2-hour restriction on it. But how that develops, I don't know. If you put a 2-hour restriction on in the square, they're only going to park somewhere else and clog up somewhere else. So it is a bit of an issue. So I'd be interested to see how you get on with West Street. And I know that we as a parish council have set up a sort of, I think it's a 3-man committee, solely to look at the parking, see where we can go. But it's limited on what areas we've got to develop there. But it is a horrendous problem. The other problem that we have is a shared issue, which probably is dog fouling, which that was quite serious. But we have been fortunate enough to get bins about 4 or 5 years. I think we nicked them, and I think whoever the contractor was who put them in, I think did suggest that the parish clerk went round and had a look to see if they were being used, which I think Margaret drew the line at that. I don't think she was overjoyed about that. And I supervised the installation of the poo bins out in the provinces. I suppose my connection with looking at the public lavatories made me eminently qualified to supervise the introduction of poo bins out at Lenham Heath. But anyway, we seem to have got that one cracked. So this sort of thing, I think we're winning. The parking, we are losing. And I think that's 2 areas of common. I won't go into building and projects like that, because it's too vast.
The car park behind the Dog and Bear, that's full up with
builders. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and the parking is getting worse coming from the square, Church Square, going round it to the Doctors, round in Groom Way, and that is a blind bend, and it's a disaster. It's an accident waiting to happen.
You've also got the Friday night Dog and Bear drinkers parking in the square. From one potential side, sensibly leaving their car there overnight and getting home another way, versus leaving their car there overnight and not bothering to come back for it until lunchtime the following day, which I know was impacting on a couple of the shops as well, wasn't it?
Well, that's all sorts of things. The shops themselves don't do themselves any favours by using up the parking. They park themselves there all day. So it's a double-edged sword, really, when it comes to the shops. But
can I ask a question? I know it's split, but we all use them square.
Of course you do.
So this idea of restricting the parking in the square, is that sort of a potential run?
Well, I don't know, Tom. It's
2 hours anyway.
Permanent. Yeah, the problem is policing it.
Okay.
You've had a schedule through from how many hours the guy comes around. He doesn't spend 2 hours there, so there's absolutely no way he knows whether anybody's been parking. What he does, he nicks you if you've got your wheels slightly over the bloody line.
Which you might have had to do because someone else has parked badly.
Well, yeah.
And left.
Exactly. I mean, I advocated paying for parking, giving you a 2-hour period, but you've got to police it. And the other thing is, I'm really sort of shooting myself in the foot, because if you do that, as I said earlier, they're going to park somewhere else. So unless you can install yellow lines, which we all know that's not going to happen, it really is a serious problem. But 3 or 4 guys of the parish council and the subcommittee are working on it, and I'm sure we could share information if that progresses.
Absolutely. Well, that's great. Well, thanks ever so much.
No, that's all.
No? Would you like to?
Well, I'd like to thank you very much, because you've just about taken apart everything that I was going to say.
I'm just glad I've been from you.
I have a couple of notes that you installed 5 dog bins on the 1st of March, which was absolutely brilliant. And you're getting bigger dog bins, which the collection is weekly by Maidstone Borough Council.
I think we are, yeah. Not only that, we've got a very smart Lenham Parish Council logo on them as well.
Yes.
They would be mixed bins, won't they, if they'd been picked up by Maidstone?
I assume so.
I would assume, yeah.
Yeah.
The bigger bins in order to accommodate.
Yeah.
I have a note here about your neighbourhood plan.
Yes, that's a rather complicated issue, which I would not feel confident about making too many comments on that.
No, the only notes that I've got here, which I haven't down to report back, is that you're having an amenity trust to make purchases under a charitable status, the object of purchasing and protecting open spaces.
Yeah.
Which I thought was, like that idea. The next item I've got written down.
So if I can comment on that, I think the idea is to protect areas where it's being built and to try and nail a spot.
Yes.
So no further development can take place on that particular spot.
Yes.
That's the principle behind it.
As an aside, I read a piece in one of the parish magazine national things where one parish up in the Midlands had bought a huge amount of land from a very friendly farmer at a very silly price, just to protect the area. Okay, moving on. I note that you're also going for a tree survey, and you're going for a risk assessment on your owned trees. I also noted that you had a public planning a planning meeting of which 30 plus members of the public attended, which impressed me.
It's quite small for Lenham, actually.
That would have been for your neighbourhood family.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that was particularly encouraging, actually.
And then the last thing I noticed that unlike us, you are having terrible trouble with your website, and I did speak to one of your people.
Yes, we're all smug now, aren't we?
We are smug.
The Parish Council website is really needs some work. The guy, hopefully the guy who's doing the tourist website is brilliant. He's on the Parish Council and he's liaising with the guy who produces the Focus magazine, which is equivalent to your Fish magazine. I'm hoping that he will get more heavily involved in, subject to his time, to improve our website.
Oh, that's tremendous. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, we can move on to the next item, which we've already touched on it, which is the annual parish meeting. If you can just give us an update on that, Mark. I think it's all there, isn't it?
It's probably just easy to read out. It says Clark next to it, so we don't want to emphasise. Letters to be sent to all groups in the village and reports of staff to be received from the booklet. Please note the change of venues. John Baptist Church for both the usual monthly meeting at 6:30 and the annual parish meeting at 8 o'clock, which means a shortened parish council meeting. Refreshments will be served, which councillors T and J Sands are organising.
Happy to organise rightly with assistance with the new dynamics of the church rather than the hall. So that's
Well, I've already spoken to the church wardens. They have assured me that at least one will be there
that'd
to
be fantastic.
get the lighting on, the heating on if we need it. And I'll also make sure things like the servery cupboards are available, not locked. Can any councillor reports still outstanding be sent to the clerk, please?
Okay. Right, item number 12, which is the Village Hall Trust. We've had a request for sponsorship boards for the Harrietsham Music Festival to be placed on the glebe field. Has anybody got any thoughts with regard to this as to
So they
time?
had them on there last year.
Right.
They had them on for last year and
And lots this year.
afterwards.
So,
Yeah, that was actually my comment.
yeah.
Yes.
Get them removed.
I think people are quite happy to have things up for a short time before,
Yes.
and then they need to be taken down the next day.
The next, I've got a note here. My view for the glebe field is there should be a maximum of 3 boards, and they have to be removed the next day.
Yeah, how many was there last year?
I can't remember. I don't think there was very many more actually. No.
Could we also stipulate when they go up? Because I think for any organisation, if it goes up too certain,
Yeah.
people then don't read it. They've seen it,
Yes.
and they don't
No
read it. If it
impact.
goes up, I don't know, what, a month before?
Well, it says here last,
Couple of weeks.
this is an email from the organisers. Last year the boards will be going up around 6 weeks. Like last year, the boards will go up around 6 weeks before the event. Sometimes that's too soon in my book.
Could I ask, Chair, because I think it's about the fact that there are other organisations in the village that would like to have the opportunity to have some of the sites that this organisation put their boards on first. So I
Yes.
think that prior to the glebe field's concerned, I think a couple of weeks beforehand is
It's
fair enough.
sufficient,
Absolutely.
really.
But I think also the fact is that we have to be fair on other organisations
Yeah.
as well.
And there's the school fair coming up, there's the big lunch coming up, there's that teddy bears picnic
Picnic,
thing
yes,
that's
okay.
on. So, and if everything's up at the same time,
No,
then I
it's
don't
a
think it's
mess.
fair on
It's a
anyone.
mess.
Has anybody got any other thoughts on that at all from this side?
Only to observe that there's already a couple of notices up along the A20.
Yeah,
So they've already
But-
begun.
but
And I
that-
do think, I agree with you, it's kind of like it blends into the woodwork, doesn't it, after a little while.
after a while.
You want the impact of a shorter time.
Okay, so the suggestion is that the boards, what, 4 weeks beforehand, is that?
What's the date of the thing?
I don't know. Is it the 22nd?
Or was it, did you mention 4 or 3?
Mr. Chair, but I know another organisation that runs a similar sort of festival that puts them up probably a couple of weeks beforehand.
So no earlier than the beginning of July. That gives them 3
I
weeks.
think it's the 22nd.
So it's
I
pretty
think
fine.
beginning of the month.
July's fine.
So beginning of July,
Yeah,
1st of
and
July.
then the other, the June festival, isn't
It's all
it?
gone.
Okay.
So the proposal is going to be that the boards go up beginning of July.
Maximum of 3.
Has anyone else got any
Phil.
thoughts on the maximum of 3? Is that?
I can't see why we should restrict it to 3.
This is just on the
This is
field.
just on the glebe
It's on the
field.
glebe field.
Yeah,
So where are you proposing?
they can they'll put others everywhere, won't they?
Yeah.
But on our field,
Well, why are we saying only 3?
We
The reason.
don't want 3 dozen.
Yeah,
No, I appreciate that.
because there's
I think the 3 sides,
There's 3
one on each
sides to
side.
it.
On the access points.
Yeah.
So how many
So-
access points have we got?
1, 2, 3.
QED?
Okay, so we've got a proposal, the boards go up at the beginning of July, maximum of 3 to come down the next day.
Yep.
Yep. Who's proposing that?
Your proposal?
Mhm.
Tom, seconded, Glenda.
Yeah.
All those in favour?
There's a bit more to this though, isn't
Okay, the next item that we've got on here is again to do with the glebe field. Is time to be agreed for closure of the Glebe Field after the music event? If I can just start off with a question. Whose responsibility is it to close the field? Would it be us or would it be the...
It would be
us.
us.
So basically it would be somebody around this table, is that correct?
Yes.
Or- Right.
I had previously offered, providing that there was a significant support, because I don't want to be out there in the dark on my own. But I have to say, at the point when I'd offered, I was also the parish council's representative from the Village Hall Trust.
Right.
So it made good sense for it to be me, because that kept that
Right.
connection going. Unfortunately, I've had to give that position up.
Yes. Okay.
So, whilst I'm happy to be involved, I don't really feel I'm the appropriate person to look up the field now, even though I had previously volunteered.
Well,
So I apologise to other councillors for that, if that's caused anybody.
they have to marshal it at all times, do they not? Did we not
They have
request
to
that?
marshal it, yes.
Yeah.
Basically, we need somebody to turn up in the morning to unlock it,
They want
and
to
then turn up in
unlock
the evening to lock it.
at 11:30
11:30.
in the morning.
Oh, sorry.
And they say the event ends at 10. But it's impossible to say when the last car will be out of the Glebe Hill. I'm
Unless we
sorry.
specify.
I'd like to be involved in that, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Okay.
I'm very worried about travellers.
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
I'm
Would it be reasonable to, and I know probably it's not what everyone wants, but would it be reasonable to ask them to move those cars that are still there, because lots of people go in the afternoon and go, at a reasonable time in the evening to the village hall,
Yes.
so that we know that it's locked up in the lights and safely, and not ask a councillor just to be hanging around until whenever, because we don't know. That's unfair on every
Well, I
council.
think security's got to be important as
I
far as
don't
we're
think,
concerned.
I think, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock would be...
May I suggest sunset?
did not you, Susie, to make some disparaging comment on that?
I don't know, probably.
You know, about closing early.
I mean, it wouldn't be what everyone would want to move their car, but we have had traveller issues, and if we hadn't had the traveller issue, we'd never have the bollards there, we wouldn't have to look up.
No,
And it would
no,
be, yes, you can
no.
have it for as long as you like,
Yes.
and when you leave, if you want to leave at, midnight, that's not a problem. But it is now,
Yeah, security is an
Yeah,
issue, isn't
yeah.
it?
and that isn't our fault, their fault, anybody's fault. It's,
And I think it needs two people to be there locking up if it's dark.
Yes.
It's going to be dark forever.
Well, if we say sunset,
Well, no, that's...
Let's give it time.
That's open to interpretation.
Yeah,
Sorry?
that's
That's
open
open
to
to
interpretation.
interpretation.
Yes, it
sunset
is.
is specified on that day. You can look it up.
If it's a dreary night, it's going to be earlier, isn't it?
It's 9 o'clock, we'll do it.
It's not unreasonable for a sign to be put up.
No.
Vacate
Well,
these
if we was
premises
to
at night.
suggest 9 o'clock, yeah,
And
the gates will be shut at 9 o'clock.
It is also what we do at the festival
Yes.
at Lenham,
Mm.
that they have to remove their cars
They do that at Lenham.
at a
Right,
certain
okay.
time
Yeah.
and put them somewhere
Well,
else.
most
They're
car
not
parking
safely
places,
using.
if they're not open 24
Yeah,
hours a
otherwise
day,
we-
they stipulate when they're open.
Yeah, for people to kind of hang around to
We
11 o'clock.
clear our field at about 6 o'clock. So they have to park somewhere else. Usually people walk to it anyway, so I think that if we've got a sign up saying this will be locked at 9 o'clock. Right, I do have a concern about the entrance being managed during the day. And I think that, I'm sure what we're writing would be the fact there will be someone or a couple of people on the entrance.
At all times.
Because
It must be marshalled by...
having had the
by-
situation with certain people in the back of my car trying to block the people going onto the field, I think it's about the fact that we need to have some form of strict control on that, because the event will be known by people to be on, and that will give opportunity potentially for it to be abused.
Well, that comes back to responsibility. Whose responsibility is that?
Last year it was marshalled, wasn't it? Or
Yes.
by the
was,
music
yes.
festival
By the
people.
music
So
festival, isn't
they
it?
they surely must
What
do
date
that
is
again.
the event?
I think it's the 22nd of July.
22nd of July.
And it's no different to the charity walks.
Mhm.
They've also
Yes.
man it, don't they, for the whole
Yes,
period of
yeah.
the walk.
So what time did you say you close the car park?
I'll
No,
close
no.
the car park at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So the vehicles need to be vacated by 9 o'clock, and the vehicles on the car park will be locked in.
When to be recovered the next day?
So they'll have to
They'll have to
make
make
arrangements.
arrangements.
Make arrangements, won't they?
We'll put a number on that they can bring on the note.
They can go in, they can go in their coffers on 50 quid for recovery.
Or we could do that, but
Preston
but I think it's about setting out some basic, if people drive there and another thing's going to be locked at 9 o'clock, generally speaking,
Most people.
they'll get them off anyway.
For information, sunset time on the 22nd of July is 8:59.
And if
Oh,
they're
sorry,
raining,
no,
it'll be
No, the sun all sets at the same time.
Yes, I know, but it's not always like.
9 o'clock is absolutely bang on.
Yeah, 9 o'clock, excellent. Right, I have got as a proposal, something that goes along the lines of, we're happy to open until 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Car park is,
11:30.
sorry, 11:30.
11:30.
Yeah, but 11:30 a.m. Car parks